My name is Cassandra Urabi. I'm a third-year art major at UCR. I recently met with Marigold Linton, our Distinguished Alumni Awardee. Marigold was a pioneer in many ways, the first reservation Indian to graduate from college in California, and the only one of a handful to receive Ph.D.s at the time. My day with Marigold began with a trip back to the Morongo Indian Reservation where she grew up. We met her brother and his wife, who still live next door to their very humble family home.
This is the house that I grew up in. My mother and father built it, started in about 1932. So my parents actually made all the adobe. You had a pit of mud, you put water, you put grass, and then you stomped on it until it became adobe. So this is the inside of the house. My brother now uses it, as you can see, for storage. Let me show you the room in which I was born.
Wow.
If you come right in the corner.
Over there by the window.
Over there by the window is where my mother laid on this little bed, and I was in 8th grade. Mrs. Adams, my teacher, came out to the reservation, and she said to my mother, "Marigold is very, very bright, and you ought to make sure she goes to college." My mother never said anything about that. She didn't act as if it impressed her, but it impressed me. And I started on that day, saving half of every nickel I ever got.
We then returned to UCR to share memories of a very different sort.
I got the greatest education. I mean, there probably isn't a week that goes by, even today, where I don't say, actually, I know that because that was in humanities or biology, one of the other classes.
I had invited some of my fellow UCR students to join us at the Coastal Library of the American Indian to compare our experiences at UCR across time.
Growing up, I didn't have any of my native culture to learn from. And I knew that in college, they offered that. They had that kind of, cultural awareness that they wanted you to learn. And I knew that UC Riverside was specifically a really good school for that. But I didn't know that they had a Native American Student Association. My freshman orientation, I sought them out. They were tabling. And right away, I got involved from the first day.
It is likely the case that I'm the 17th American Indian to have ever gotten a Ph.D. Now that can't be accurate because there are a lot of people who lied, say, "Oh no, not me, I'm not an Indian."
During her distinguished academic career in psychology, Marigold also became a powerful national advocate for the vigorous recruitment of Native Americans into science and higher education. She was recently recognized by President Obama for her efforts.
After I graduate, I want to either go to graduate school or UC Riverside. Art, definitely. I want to get my master's in art and either go to teach or go into design.
Now, as you have heard many times, I actually
collect art.
Yes. I have a huge collection of art.
So your time at UC Riverside, that's kind of what started your career, would you say, or was it here and your dream?
Well, I use the analogy of a little tree. So when I was here, I was like on a little tiny tree looking, but I couldn't see very far. I couldn't see very much.
And so at UC Riverside, that
put me on a bigger tree. But what you want to say to students is, you think, hey, I am on a very tall tree, and the answer is wrong. No, it's a very small tree, and you're going to keep learning stuff. You're going to keep climbing this tree. You're going to keep learning every day of your life.
From her story, I gained an appreciation for always aiming for more than what you've been given and raising the ordinary to extraordinary.